I still smoke weed I don't smoke a lot of weed. I'm not good at smoking weed, but I use my story-worthy lighter.
Thanks.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Does that make you feel good?
It does.
Do people tell you, because you gave me a nice little gift bag.
Yeah.
Are you done with that now?
No, I still give out bookmarks.
Nice.
I don't have lighters right this second because they're expensive.
Are they?
But they're really fun. It's my favorite swag.
That's a great swag, and I think it even has a little bottle opener on it. Does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
But the pen did.
The pen did.
Yeah, so.
I'm here with Christine Blackburn, you guys. Isn't this fun? Did I say your name right? This is the camera. You don't have to look at it. No one else is looking at it.
Which one? Oh, here.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? But
cute.
we don't even look at it, really. Your podcast, Storyworthy, has been on for how long?
You know what? It'll be 7 years in
Holy
July.
man.
I know.
So how many episodes?
Over 400.
Wow. That's 400 unique, funny, real stories.
Yes, what you said.
Yeah, I like that. And I did it maybe over a year ago. We told a tennis story, but you must get a gamut of everything, huh?
Really, yeah, we really do.
What's your favorite part about hosting your podcasts?
I have a natural curiosity about other people's lives, and I know I kind of put myself in the position of an audience member and what they might ask, and I try to ask those questions. Also, I let them tell their story uninterrupted, and so I kind of wait it out, and I make notes.
Yep.
And then, and then I ask the questions.
That's a really good way to do it. I can tell through some of my reviews that they're like, Michael, stop interrupting. But I'm a different person. When you say something like, "Hey, I'm from Pittsburgh," I need to get in there.
Hey, listen. When I say I'm from Pittsburgh, who doesn't want to get in there?
And you are from Pittsburgh.
I know.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's cool. No.
Sure.
How long have you been here?
It'll be 20 years in August.
Okay. Wow. So, and that's. I find Pittsburgh to be a cool place, Were you always performing, and were you always...
I started performing maybe in 92, and I moved out here in 97.
Okay.
But I did like the Funny Bone and stuff like that.
You did all that shit, huh?
Yeah.
It's still there, I think.
And I'm still friends with Frank Nicotero and, a lot of these Pittsburgh guys, which is great.
You don't know Scott Bailey, do you? He was
No.
a TV producer and a bunch of things. He always mentioned Frank Nicotero, but he wouldn't shut up about Pittsburgh. When is your birthday, Christine?
My birthday is January 7th,
Okay.
1966,
Ooh.
which translates to ancient.
No. But you did I was going to say, you don't have to tell me the year, but you also just posted something with your age on it.
I don't care, yeah.
You go for it.
Yeah, well, look, it's, I think that what gives everybody a special quality is like their experience and what they bring to the table. And you can't take that away from anybody, right?
Sure.
If you're casting for a film and you need actresses and you're just going by their skill, well, then who's the better actress, right?
Yeah.
But if you're casting for like a personality or a host, then why, like, what is their experience?
Yeah.
And that's what I have. And that comes with
Yes,
age.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like AARP.
This is Brenton. He's
Material.
going
Hey,
to take pictures and just
Nice to see
be
you.
friendly. This is Christine
that's
Black.
nice.
Yeah, it's great. Another Michigander.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
Well,
the Midwest folks.
you're not a
always
Michigander.
good.
You're Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but it's Midwest.
Yeah, real people. Tell me about this HuffPo article that I had to click on because you're naked on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny how people seem to want to look at that.
Isn't that terrible? You've written many, many articles, and yet the one that everyone wants to talk to you about is because you're naked on it. But it's such a fun picture.
Oh, I know. I'm really happy about
Yeah.
it. You could see it at ChristineBlackburn.com.
Perfect. What?
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Well, that was for my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And we're talking about birthdays today, of course.
Yeah.
And I find like the most memorable ones for me anyway were always at like my 21st, my 30th, my 40th, and my 50th.
Got it.
And my 50th, the idea behind that motorcycle shot, well, I
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just describe the motorcycle shot to you. It's on some canyon road, probably, right?
In Malibu, yeah.
In Malibu. A man driving I would say it's a cruiser. It's not a Harley, but it's a big bike.
It's a Harley.
It's a Harley.
Of course, yeah.
He looks like exactly the kind of guy that would drive a Harley. And then Christine's on the back, naked.
I had on a scarf.
You had a scarf, correct.
And that was all. And
a helmet, probably.
And no helmet. No helmet? Come on, grow up.
Oh, it's a helmet law.
No, it was, so I was inspired by, have you ever seen the shot of Richard Branson with a naked chick on his back. He's on water skis.
And, I haven't, but I want to.
There's this, it's a famous shot, and it's very playful, and it's kind of just like the look on his face is like, I'm rich as fuck,
right.
and this chick is just hot, and she's really, she's laughing. So my idea was I started dating this guy, the guy that's riding the Harley.
Yeah.
We are no longer dating, but at the time, and we were out on his bike, and it occurred to me, my birthday's coming, and I'm thinking of this shot, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fun if I sort of reverse the role, and like the woman is the powerful one on the back of the bike laughing, and he's just kind of a prop, really.
Right.
He's in a black t-shirt and black boots. And
every man loves being called a prop.
And his bike, by the way, was a soft dovetail deuce.
That's a beautiful bike.
There you go.
Yep.
And we were only going about 35 miles an hour, by the way.
Yep.
And of course, there was a photographer,
Yep.
Obviously. And a wardrobe stylist, believe it or not.
Was there?
Well, hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup.
Yeah, anyway, so I asked him if he wanted to do it. And so he said yes. And I set up the photographer I've used for many years.
Yeah.
And she said she'd do it. And she charged me $750.
Wow.
Then I took everybody to lunch, and it was an $800 day. No, but I knew this was happening, right?
Well, you're also nice. You're not asking the friend for I hate that, like, hey, can you work for free type thing. No.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because it was a 6-hour day,
It's a great shot.
Yeah, but I did all like the the pre-production in terms of finding the space and getting the right lightweight scarf.
Lightweight scarf. You must have been thinking about your body.
We did it on December 23rd.
Okay.
You know what? I play a lot of tennis and I work out all the time, so I'm not really...
Tennis
it's all about it, man.
It makes everyone's body look good.
Yeah, because it's so full body workout. It's so full, like... The core,
abs, arm,
all of it, yeah.
You usually have sun. I realize I just said that probably my body looks good, which, by the way...
No, it does.
My body is looking
super hot.
Probably the worst it's ever looked at this point in my life.
He's got a lot of clothes on today, I'll say that.
That's true. My body is underneath my clothes. So you just were cool on the bike. How many shots did you... I'd like to see more photos of that.
We took about 700.
Wow.
Well, here's what I wanted to tell you. So, it takes, this is not easy.
Yeah.
We're going by on this bike, and it's actually quite humorous. There was one particular, it was like a Terminex truck, like Terminex rodent control or whatever, that termite control.
Yep.
And it went back and forth. It saw us on the road, and then it kept kind of watching us and following us.
Well, that actually leads me to one of our sponsors, Terminex, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's hard enough being an attractive woman just walking by a Terminex truck, but now you're naked on this motorcycle.
Here's the thing. Here's the twist in all of it. The whole thing is that. Okay, and then I got this photo. So what am I supposed to do with this photo?
Yeah.
Right. So what would you do? You're turning 50.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you do? You hit up the folks at AARP.
You're smart.
They keep sending me, this whole thing, getting an insulated backpack, for like my medicine now, and they keep out,
Is that honestly what they hit you up with?
Yeah.
Because AARP, I don't know if you guys have noticed, they have been everywhere lately. They added on the Super Bowl. I'm getting things in the mail, which is like why Aaron is as well apparently.
Yeah.
AARP, they must have hired a new marketing team.
So I am the next market for them, because the people that are in their demographic now are all going to be dead in 20 years.
Yep.
And so
hear that, Mom and Dad?
I submit this photo to this guy. I get this name from my friend Annabelle Gurwitch, who has worked many times with AARP.
Okay.
She'd be a great guest on this show.
Okay, here we go.
Anyway, and I send the photo, and the guy loves the shot, and he calls me back, and he says, I forget how it went down, but the bottom line is we came up with this huge article called The Survivor Chronicles.
Yeah.
And basically I submitted 10 photos, and we worked on 10 captions for each photo saying how I've survived. For instance, I survived the birth order because I'm the youngest of 6.
Yes, that is youngest.
You have to be on fire to get attention, et cetera, right?
But most comics are youngest.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And then things like I survived, I survived rape. So there's that. Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Then I survived.
Most rapists are youngest. That's not true. Okay.
No
clue.
My first husband got another girl pregnant.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm flexible, Michael, but not that flexible.
Not flexible.
And then I survived cancer. And so the point is, I'm a survivor.
So the top 4, by the way, there were 6 more things you survived. But
right. I went to the Peace Corps. That was a big one.
Peace Corps, rape,
the birth order.
And husband that impregnated someone else.
Right, and motherhood.
Motherhood.
And then now I'm 50 and basically, screw everybody as it were. And and the shot is not about sex. It's about like the spirit of And Harley is really a bike for older men that have a little bit of money because they're pretty expensive.
They're fucking expensive.
Right. And so it's the idea of just the spirit of...
I just looked up the Harley Lowrider S because I love that bike and I wanted to buy it. And it was like $20,000. And I'm like, my Triumph was $5,000 or something. You know what I mean?
A lot of money.
Now, testament to that photo captures the spirit. I didn't see the photo and go like, sex or that couple, or I was like, this is a fun...
Oh, no, first of all, I'm fucking 50 years old. Now I'm 51. So, no, I'm not trying to do sex. Because I'll tell you something.
I don't do sex.
Here's the thing with sex in L.A. If
Tell me about
you think you're sexy, you're
screwed.
You're fucked.
I know.
Because there are so many beautiful people here, which is really kind of nice to be around sometimes. You know, you're in the grocery store and you're just like,
I know.
Unbelievable.
Any Whole Foods in this city,
it's just crazy.
It kills you.
So don't even, and once you're over 30, 25, 30, 40, 50. So I was never going for sex. I was only going for the spirit.
No, you got it. You nailed it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Harley in a little bit because I have a little relationship with them now. But the point is at the time AARP said, let's do this article. And they said, we'll pay you, guess how much?
$750.
$800, which included the lunch.
Well, this is a great story about show business because everyone out there who thinks, hey, you make a lot of money when you do this, you pretty much always just break even.
Yeah.
That's how it
the
works.
Most, really.
When I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but when I did the Tonight Show the very first time, University of Illinois, the head of development called me and said, can we take you out to lunch? And I was like, sure. So we go out to lunch with them. I was in Chicago or something, and they get talking to me, and they're like telling me how they need a new library. And I'm like, I think these guys think I'm a millionaire.
Oh, wow.
Do you know
Isn't
what I
that
mean?
Interesting. They think you're going to donate a computer room.
They thought the Tonight Show, they didn't know I made $720.
Right.
And it took me 10 years. You know what I mean? It's like.
They pay $720 at the Tonight Show now. I thought it was like $535.
No. It was, if you're a performer, it's like the day rate. It's like $1,000 now. But the point was, people back in Illinois who are tending their farm,
they have no idea.
They think I'm a millionaire.
No, they don't have to be tending their farm. They can be a speech pathologist like my sister, or a lawyer like my other sister, or just a homemaker. It's like it doesn't matter what you do. It's just we're in a bubble.
We're in a bubble. We're in a big bubble.
I love my bubble.
Mm-hmm. I love your bubbles. I've seen them on the back of a Harley Davidson.
Point is,
here we go, folks.
So anyway, here's the thing. This is the craziest thing then.
Yes.
So AARP has bought the piece.
Yeah.
And they're going to put it in the magazine.
Yeah.
They're going to put it on their digital site as well. And I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. And the day before it's supposed to drop,
here we go.
I get an email and it says, Christine, change of plan.
Really?
And the subject, and I opened it up, and they said, "Yep, can't get it passed through the."
That's
they think it's too risque, and we can't do it.
That's bullshit.
And I was so pissed, but I wasn't that surprised because they're pretty conservative.
Did they already pay you?
They had paid me.
All right, great.
So, I got my money. And what happened then is I put it up in the Huffington Post because I'm a blogger there. But the point is I don't get paid for that.
Yeah.
But what was good about that is that a lot of people read the Huffington Post.
Yeah, I know.
And they put it on the front page.
A lot of liberals.
The front day, which was nice. The front page, which was nice. And then the responses I got are so flippin' funny, man. I got like 500 funny responses.
Well, yeah, and even,
so then I did a subsequent article about it.
I was going to say, your article after it with some of the responses were...
awesome.
Most of them were complimentary, but there's always a couple...
Oh, my gosh, the people were crazy critical.
Yeah,
crazy
of course.
critical. Crack me up.
Too hard. Which is bullshit because if it was a naked man, it wouldn't be the same. Let's not get into that right now. July 7th...
Aaron, any thoughts?
Aaron doesn't have any thoughts.
Okay.
No, he does have thoughts, but Aaron's usually so disciplined. He's not allowed to talk during the episode because I hit him. January 7th is that weird zone of, do we have to celebrate a birthday now? We just did 2 weeks of celebration.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so true. However, okay, so the good news is like if I didn't get a present at Christmas that I wanted, I'd probably get it at my birthday at a discount price.
Yeah.
Also,
that's true. Everything's
growing up in Pittsburgh, it was frequently a snow day.
Ooh.
I know. Bonus.
That's nice.
It was.
So what's a worse birthday you've had?
But can I tell you who I share a birthday with?
Yes, please.
Katie Couric.
Okay. Hey, Katie.
Nicolas Cage.
They've both been on the show.
Jeremy Renner.
Okay.
And Kenny Loggins.
Oh, okay.
So
those are good people.
I got all that going for me.
There's probably, I think I have a serial murderer is one of mine. Maybe Manson. I don't know. We'll look it up.
On my 40th birthday, I wanted to do something, not really something that special, but I just wanted to kind of be noticed and celebrate, as it were. So I wore this giant pair of fur wings.
Ooh.
And you put it was like elastic. You put it on like a little shirt, but there were big wings behind me. They were quite beautiful.
Wow.
I know. My friend Karma lent them to me.
Hey, Karma. Karma will come back. So you wanted to do something special. This is the part of the show where I interrupt. You wanted to do something special, and wings is what came to your mind?
Point. I just enjoyed the idea of wings, and so I played tennis in the morning like I do 5 days a week.
I know, you're always
in
on
my
tennis.
wings, and yes, it impeded my serve.
I would think so.
But I'm a professional. I rise above it.
Yeah.
Then I left the tennis courts. I have to take off the wings to get in the car.
What are people looking at you with these fucking wings?
I'm with all my buddies.
Yeah.
I'm with all my friends.
Yeah.
And most of the people I play tennis with are over 70.
Okay.
And they they'd get a kick out of me and I get a kick out of them.
And because they're over 70, it's not affecting your movement too much. Because they're just like hitting.
I'm pretty quick anyway.
Yeah, you're quick. Okay.
It's so funny between sets, like playing with all my friends. I'm doing sit-ups as fast as I can. I'm standing on my head. And I was like, why are you so busy? I'm like, because you guys, you don't even know how slow we've been moving.
Yeah. Singles or doubles you guys play?
Now, I play all sorts, but just when I'm playing with those particular folks.
Yeah.
And on that day, my 40th birthday, I was playing with those friends. So I wore my wings. Then I went down with my ex-husband my husband at the time.
Okay.
To Venice to rollerblade again in my wings.
Wow. See, people back home in Michigan, this is how active you can be. On January 7th, you played tennis, and you go down to Venice to rollerblade.
Yeah.
And you own wings.
Yeah.
Karma owns wings.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Karma does, yeah. So anyway, rollerblading, I have always been very careful about the gear, okay, specifically the wrist guards, because I have had a skiing accident where I tore that ulnar collateral ligament. I've had surgery. And I've broken this, so I've had injury to this wrist before.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know if you have injury to this wrist like this, you're not playing tennis for a good amount of time.
That's true.
And then there's physical therapy, etc. So
you're right-handed?
I always wear the wrist guards. Are you?
I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Playing tennis left-handed is just.
It's an unfair advantage.
It's upsetting.
It's like if you played someone with a basketball and they're like,
they have two basketballs.
I have two basketballs and 9 arms. Yes. Left-handed tennis players it immediately raises you a whole new level.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your height is such an advantage for you, isn't it?
It's advantage for serving, but then don't ever hit the ball low to me, and then I can't get it. I'm like a giant giraffe.
At the net, you're good.
I'm very good at the net, but I got to get to the net. You know?
Yeah, but okay. Well, playing doubles. Could you ever play?
I'm a beast at doubles.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah, doubles
Isn't
is my
it
favorite.
fun?
I shouldn't say a beast, but I was a much better doubles player. But when I was playing, there was no money, there's still not as much money in doubles. But it was just I had to make a decision. Am I going to do this for the rest of my life and make $26,000 a year, or am I going to become a comedian and make $11,000 a year?
And I
chose to be a comedian.
What if you were to be a tennis player comedian? You know what I mean? So you're, and then she said, no, not tonight.
Bang! I would have a niche market.
That's what I'm saying.
No one would show up, but I would.
I have all these friends. They're over 70. They'll come.
Okay, let's do it. Let's put it together. You know what? For my birthday this year, I'll get wings and we can play together.
When is your birthday?
September 27th.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Fall.
Yeah.
I'm a Libra. What does that mean?
So we rollerblade around
You're in Venice,
and I have my knee pads on as well. I'm really into
wrist and knee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, and a helmet, of course. Yeah, like I'm like into the whole
and wings.
And of course, I have my wings on because I'm not a fool.
Yeah.
So I don't think I had a helmet on. I didn't have a helmet on.
You didn't have a helmet on a Harley. You probably didn't have rollerblading.
Exactly. But anyway, the wrist has always been a thing for me. So anyway, we rollerblade around. Super fun. Of course, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's California. I'm happy to be here. And then we stopped to get lunch. And now we're walking through the restaurant. And as I'm walking through the restaurant right on the boardwalk there, I take off my wrist guards. My hands are sweaty.
Yeah.
And I get to the table and I fall down right on my wrist.
Oh, right after you took them off.
And then I had to go to Brotman Medical Center in Culver City. I broke my fucking wrist.
You really broke your fucking wrist?
Yeah.
How did you fall? Did you do this
and
whole
then
thing?
I do the whole, and then, oh my God, it was like that whole thing where you get nauseated and it's just like your body's in shock. You're in shock.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, waves and waves are coming at me and I'm down. And Matt, my ex-husband, he knows this is what this is.
Yeah.
We've been together for quite a while at that point, and
this
is my trigger. This is my sort of when I get overwhelmed. And he's like, yeah, let's go.
You were on rollerblades.
Yeah.
Which is why you slipped.
Walking through a restaurant.
Was there any?
It's so upsetting. I was gonna tell you that I was going on, like I was on my rollerblades, but then I decided to go in the skate park, and I was gonna tell you I was doing a trick. No, I wanted to lie.
Yeah.
I wanted to impress you.
Thank you for not lying. To me, this is more real. This is what happens. This is what happens in real life. These things happen, and. I also find it fascinating that you're allowed to just be on rollerblades at a restaurant in Venice. But of course you are.
In Venice,
of course. Why would I think you couldn't? Because in an Olive Garden in Pittsburgh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
They would say,
well, first of all, the plaza that you're in would be dangerous to rollerblade in.
The strip mall, yeah. So how did you fall? Do you remember the fall?
Yeah, man. I hang on to the corner of this table and
and you went. The feet went out from under?
And then boom, and broke a bone on the top of my wrist. And then
the ulna bone?
And that was the thumb.
Other one, yeah. Why do I know that?
I know, because you're a sports guy.
Because I'm a tennis player.
I'd like to hear about your cartilage information.
I tore, I know you were joking, but I tore my TFCC there. Oof. Which is whatever that means, but this is the radial and the ulna, or other way around.
Right. No, that's the one.
So you broke your something in here.
At that time, and then fast forward about 3 years ago, on Thanksgiving Day, I slipped and broke my wrist again.
Your right wrist.
Same one. Yeah. So I've broken this hand 3 times. I've had casts on this hand 3 times. Once on this arm and 3 times on this arm.
The second time you slipped, you were on rollerblades again, or no?
No, I was playing tennis.
I was playing tennis.
Playing tennis in the morning, and let me just tell you the kind of tennis player I am. I was at Griffith Park in Vermont Canyon, and I'm with my 3 buddies. 2 are older, 1 is my age, and we're playing doubles, and we're literally warming up. I know, again, not a good story.
Right.
Warming up, even half court. I'm hitting to my friend whose name is Dan Blackburn. Absolutely no
relation. You guys warm up short court first?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then we back up to the baseline, and we're warming up, and it's Thanksgiving morning, so everything's going on, right? There's stuff going on, in terms of like my husband's got food going on, and then the relatives are being picked up, and my daughter's only 3, so there's things happening. And
you're trying to get a workout in before you stuff your face.
Right, of course, every day. And so I am hitting, and I reach for a ball, and I slip on this same wrist again, and I'm sprawled out. My stupid tennis skirt is up, and I'm seeing those waves of nausea again. And the guy's like, "Come on, you're all right, you're all right."
Oh shit!
They sit me on the bench, and and it's cold because it's November, and they pack my arm with all their ice bottles, like their ice, their water bottles. Yeah. And I sit back, and I have like a towel over my head, and I'm like, in and out of consciousness. And I fucking let him play for about an hour and 15 minutes. And I said, "Hey, you guys."
Yeah.
I gotta go to the hospital.
Is this the same husband as Matt? Is this Matt?
Yeah.
So Matt's very familiar with your wrist being broken.
Yeah, he was through a lot of my ailments.
And the first time, the birthday, the 40th birthday, which, by the way, I'm really loving how so many of the worst birthdays on this podcast lately have been involving physical pain. Because it's something we take for granted when we're healthy.
Yeah.
And I say it to you now, and I say it last podcast too. If you're feeling good today, just quickly, just for a second, just go, you know what? I'm glad I don't have a toothache.
Do you ever have
or a headache.
Do you ever have heartburn?
I don't, but I know some people do, and it gets terrible.
Or if you ever had like a migraine headache and you don't have one of that right now, be super happy.
I get tooth shit. Yeah. And I don't have it right now.
Yeah, thank God.
And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that Christine Blackburn's here.
Do you like your dentist?
I hate all my dentists.
I have a great dentist.
I don't believe you.
Look.
Well, yeah, you look good.
Ding.
But I'd like to. They should put the cost of your teeth on, not your teeth. No, I just find dentists the oil changemen of medicine. They're always upselling. It's always an upsell.
I hear what you're saying. So what I do for that is I have this insurance plan where I pay $30 a month, right?
Okay.
And then in my life, I pay $30 a month for my teeth, right?
I would do that.
And then my dentist works within that plan. It's called Physicians Mutual.
Here we go.
My dentist works within
that plan. Our
plan.
second sponsor, Terminex and Physicians Mutual.
and they work within that. So they'll like, right, so whatever I need, and I do a lot of cosmetic stuff, as it were.
Okay.
Because once you're 50 fucking 1, your teeth don't look like this.
Do your thing, girl.
You have to do something about it, like laminates.
It doesn't
look
fake.
Of course not, because I'm a good dentist,
job.
right. My ex-husband loved her. She's this Russian woman. She's very beautiful.
How many ex-husbands do you have?
2.
2, okay.
And she's Russian, and she's very beautiful.
Oh,
and
shit.
Yeah, and her face is so close, and my ex-husband would just be like,
I need to get more dental work done.
So anyway, but if you get an insurance plan that will work with the your dentist recommends. So you go to a dentist who will work with a plan like that.
Yeah.
The trick is you have to pay for 3 months before it can kick in.
Sure, of course.
Because they're not going to let you just.
Because they're scam artists. Do you have pets?
I have one cat.
Do you have health insurance for your cat?
No.
Okay, because that seems crazy to me. But then
no.
But some people do. When you broke your wrist, you spent your 40th birthday at the hospital.
Exactly. 4 hours at Blackburn Medical Center just to get seen. And that's a small place.
And that's because it wasn't life-threatening. But you also had a pretty active day prior to that. Were you wearing wings? When you were wearing wings, you went to the hospital?
Yeah. But
no, you took.
I had to take them off in the car.
Yeah, that is so funny. I'd like to see a picture of you with the wings. Do you think you have one?
Yeah, I definitely do.
You could email
Playing
me.
Tennis,
huh? Yeah. And how long did it?
You're so funny.
I want to see a picture of you in the wings. That'd be funny. How long did it take to make your wrist better?
Oh man, each time it's such a process. 6 weeks for a cast of this length. They'll change casts out. That's one thing, then another thing.
Yeah.
I've had surgery on it. And then there's always that physical therapy. So that can be another 6 or 8 weeks. So I've also had tennis elbow very severely.
Yeah.
So I've had chunks in my life of not being able to play tennis for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. So I'm grateful when I can play and I feel good.
Can I say something about your tennis play?
No.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I think you're playing a shitload of tennis. I mean, it's not a sport that balances your body. It makes you look really good, but it's all dominant handed. So you're playing 5 days a week?
Well, I go to the gym or I play tennis. It's one or the other.
Okay, got it. Because it is you start seeing real tennis players that play a lot. Their right spine actually starts to turn to it's like a pitcher.
Yeah, interesting.
And so you're playing a lot.
That's also the level of which I'm playing, okay? So truly, I'm playing with a lot of elderly people just for conversation and social times, really.
Did you play today?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I canceled.
Okay, good. You had a podcast. Thank you for that.
I didn't cancel until you said we're on camera. And then I canceled, I swear to God. Because I would have just come into my tennis stuff. Because usually I finish at 10.
And I would have loved to see your tennis stuff, but I always feel with women.
You want to see my T-shirts and no,
I like tennis. I love tennis. No, but I always feel like with women, and maybe this is it's not sexist, but maybe it's being gender specific. I always say, hey, just so you know, we're on camera.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's fair, right? That's fair.
Well, also, when you're asked to do a podcast, you assume you are not.
Yeah, and so
I've had people get mad at me because I didn't tell them I'm going to take our picture.
Yeah, well, I've had that too.
But what's frustrating to me is that if you're going to go on as a guest to somebody's show, you ought to know what are they doing. Yeah. I saw Marilyn Rice Cub in this very studio.
Yeah,
so I knew you were on camera. So
it's just common courtesy. I hate when you show up to do audio or do some form of media, and then there's another form of media that they didn't tell you about, and then they make you sign something, and I'm like, what? I didn't want any. Anyways, did anybody sing you happy birthday that day, do you think? Matt must have.
Matt must have, yeah. I'm sure he did.
In the hospital?
I'm sure he did.
And how long did it take for you to get back on the tennis court with the wrist?
I don't remember. I mean, it just, I've had some, like I said, it's been on and off for years. When you're as old as me, you definitely.
You're not that old.
I am. No, I am.
You're the oldest person we've ever had on this.
That's what
in this building. But
I'm frequently the oldest person in the room in LA.
Yeah. What's the key to staying young? Because you have a positive attitude and you're still attractive.
Oh, that's
so. What's the key for all the listeners out there?
The key is being grateful.
Being grateful.
And I remember hearing Robin, and I have this in my kitchen as well. But Robin Williams had it in his kitchen. Don't think about what you want. Think about what you have.
I like that.
And I want more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always trying because, again, my birthday, January 7th, that's Capricorn. That's like the goat, always climbing, always climbing. I know it's bullshit, but other Capricorns are like Howard Stern, and there's a lot of like go-getters, Michelle Obama,
Here we go.
Pitbull.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's an interesting
exactly what
three,
I'm saying.
Huh?
That's
yeah,
what I'm
clearly
saying.
you've spelled it out perfectly. Pitbull, Howard Stern, and Meatloaf. Was that the third one? No. I bet you Meatloaf's a Capricorn.
I had Pearl Day on my show, and she's Meatloaf's daughter.
Oh, that's cool.
She's so flippin' talented, man.
Yeah.
She's a singer. She's got so much soul.
Yeah.
She's married to Scott from Anthrax. Scott.
Don't look
I'm
at
dropping
me like this.
I know.
No, but don't look at me like I know.
Ian. Scott what?
Yeah.
Scott Ian. Yeah, thank you.
She's what?
But she.
Now I'm concerned that Aaron knows the name of Anthrax Scott. What is it?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a really nice guy.
Christine, what is a great birthday you've had? that you can think of?
Well, that 50th one was pretty damn fun.
That was?
Yeah. Well, actually, we actually shot that December 23rd.
Yep.
And my birthday is January 7th. So I was 2 weeks shy of my 50th. And on my 50th last year, I was at the Improv, and I had a show.
That's great.
And my guest was Barry Katz or Phil Hendry, because I did like 3 shows that I can't. It was one or the other.
I love that comedians. Lots of times when I ask them their favorite birthday, oftentimes it involves a show, and I love that.
Yeah, because who doesn't want to be on stage?
Yeah, well, I don't always want to be on stage, but I love that comics.
Because you're a road guy. You're more of a professional.
Here we go.
No, but
keep them coming.
What you do when you're traveling, I understand that you wouldn't necessarily want to be on stage, but I haven't had a taste of that because I have a child and I can't.
Sure.
You don't have any children, right?
No children.
At least
that
for
I know of.
I chose the mom thing pretty
Yeah.
seriously. Like
Yeah.
I was a stay-at-home mom. My daughter's maybe had 1 babysitter, 2 babysitters in her life. Like she didn't go to daycare. She still nurses. The point is,
she still nurses. How old is she?
10.
Your daughter still nurses. Is that true or is that not a true?
No.
Well, I don't know. Wasn't there the article in Time magazine recently where the baby was nursing very.
Well, she did nurse till she was 3 or 4.
Okay.
I mean, she nursed a long time. But the point is that I really did not take my talent, as it were, on the road. I have never really done that. And I'm going to start branching out. I'm doing some shows in San Francisco in June, some storytelling shows, et cetera.
Great.
And also, as a comedian, I was never funny. So I kind of I did comedy hard for like maybe 5 years, but then...
That's one of the requirements, unfortunately.
I know, and what happens is the comedians that aren't funny, they become storytellers.
Sure, okay. I didn't know that.
Especially though, and but they're not always good. But if you've had life experience like I have, then you're a good storyteller.
Well, what is a story? If a comedian has to be funny, what does a storyteller have to be? Captivating?
You have to be interesting, and you have to know brevity, which is why comics are so good at storytelling.
Yeah.
I have mostly comedians on my show, Storyworthy, because of that.
Yeah.
They understand, man, you got to cut it down. And if it's not interesting until the 4th paragraph, then baby Jesus, don't tell me the first 3.
Well, this is a great point because I did Ari Shaffir's storytelling show in Montreal, and they were like 7 to 10 minute story, and I wrote it all out, and it was like 2.5 minutes, and I'm like, oh shit. But I also had to get used to. There's going to be longer moments of not laughing. Now that doesn't mean they're not paying attention. Mm-hmm. But stories don't have as many laughs per minute. They shouldn't.
Of course.
It's not necessarily, you're not doing a comedy routine. So that was hard for me to adjust to that.
I've had comics, but I always tell them on my show that you're going to not be interrupted for 10 minutes. And so prepare for that. Prepare for that. And don't think you're talking to me. Think you're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
But I've also had comedians in live shows, right? Because I produce live shows around town. And I see them on stage waiting for the response.
Yeah.
And I'm in the audience like, just keep going,
Just keep going, dude.
Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Because they are. That's very funny.
You should please listen to Christine's podcast called Storyworthy. I was on a long time ago, and
come back.
I would love to come back. But one thing that for all the reviewers out there that say Michael interrupts too much, you're gonna love Christine's podcast because it's a different philosophy and it's great. She gives you the show for 10 minutes and says, tell us this story, and then one of my favorite part, maybe because I like people and I like interacting, is when you then ask about the story later. And
right.
In
other words,
you save your questions later.
Yeah, the idea is that it's not long form interview.
Yeah.
I don't go about where you grew up and stuff. I try to just ask the stories that the audience would ask. I was inspired by The Moth, and The Moth is like the one. But The Moth, you're on stage for 5 minutes and you leave, and I'm like, hey, excuse me, where are you going?
I
next storyteller coming up, and it's all over.
I don't like how The Moth has judges now.
Well, it's always had judges.
Okay, maybe it's new to me with the judges, but this to me, and I want to hear what you have to say because I can see it's you're about to scream it at me. A story, when you start making it competitive, people are going to lie. They're going to embellish. And every story has a little bit of embellishment, but I want a true, honest, organic story. I don't want to hear that you went on the half pipe with your rollerblades and did a sweet move and broke your wrist. I want to hear that you went into a restaurant and slipped like an idiot on your 40th birthday. It's so funny, though. And everyone probably looked at you and went, and then they're like, well, she got what she deserved. She's wearing wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bet you're not flying now. I don't know why everyone at the restaurant's talking like this.
I can't believe you're heckling me.
I'm not heckling
You're heckling me in 11
but
years
somebody
post.
did think it's sad that she fell and she's wearing wings.
Okay, two things. First of all, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
I love that about you, of course.
I really don't.
I love that.
I really can't
You
possibly
shouldn't.
worried. But along actually those same lines, I'm super honest. I mean, I don't mean to be smiling when I say that, but I am. I'm so honest.
Yeah.
That it has never occurred to me that people embellish stories. I shit you not.
Really? Okay. Well, that's good.
It has not occurred to me that people embellish their stories.
I don't think people are embellishing their stories on your podcast because you're not judging and rewarding them points. At the Moth,
I see.
It's like you want to get a 10 out of 10, so of course you're going to. So,
but there's so many other factors with the Moth.
Tell me about
There are so many other things. First of all, they pick the topic. So you have to have a story that fits their topic.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a topic, if you don't have a story about
thin ice.
Yeah.
Well, that was one
right.
I saw many years ago.
On thin ice, right. Exactly.
But that's very broad because some people did like actual ice and then some people did like when I hit my wife in the face.
But nonetheless, you have to have a story for the particular theme that night.
Yes.
Secondly, you go to the event, you pay money to get into the event, and then you put your name in a hat. So your name may not be called.
I agree with. I don't like that part.
And I got a babysitter at home, and then I just paid $10 to get in, and I'm going to have a beer, and then you might not call my name.
Yeah.
And if you get called first, you're not going to win. And if you get called last, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
And so you need to kind of be number 5, 6, or 7. I know that's not across the board. There are exceptions.
No, but you're right. I understand what you're saying.
And so there's too many what ifs that are involved. Plus, the story can only be 5 minutes, which, like for me, is just 1,200 words, which is not a lot.
It's 1,200 words.
I don't know how many.
I wish they would change the booking process because I know people. I've sat with people that have fantastic stories and they put their name in and they don't get picked, and it's like that's a bummer. And we heard this stupid story about this guy's aunt on a roller coaster.
I was going to say there's 10 storytellers in the Moth, and I guarantee there's no more than 3 good stories.
Yeah.
It's a fine line because when they say everyone has a story, okay, but not everyone tells a story well.
I agree with that for sure. Well, please check out Storyworthy.
Yes, please
and
do.
We should actually go play tennis sometime. I'd love to come meet you, all your tennis friends.
Hey, you know who I saw the other day on the court was Kirk Fox.
Hey, Kurt Fox.
Yeah.
Spoke to him the other day.
From Mont Canyon.
Yeah, because he plays there a lot.
He thought I was a fan.
Here we go, Kurt Fox.
Of course I like him, but he's like, hey. And I'm like, it's Christine Kirk. He's like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Kurt Fox is a great dude. He was a former professional tennis player. I went and played with Kurt recently at Dr. Phil's house.
Oh, man. That's so fun.
Kirk and I and Dr. Phil are playing hit and giggle tennis. And
that is so damn fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And Dr. Phil was very sweet. And what was cool about Kirk, because I'm playing, when you play like with celebs or whatever, you kind of hit it near them, but you still make it better than they can get. And they make it so it's like, so they feel like it's a workout, but they still feel like you're good. But Kurt just fucking crushes the ball, Dr. Phil. He hit him in the shoulder on an overhead. And I was like, yes! But he's known him forever. So.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's sweet.
Where can everybody find everything about you?
Storyworthypodcast.com.
Okay.
And then on social media at Storyworthy.
Yeah, and your website is ChristineBlackburn if you want to see that picture of her naked on a Harley. I've got it saved on my phone right here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Thank you for being on the Worst Birthday
Thanks,
Podcast.
friend.
All right.
I appreciate it.
We did it. Thank you, Christine.
Thanks, friend. That was fun.